Ever see a team run wild without a manager holding them accountable? It's like a group project where no one does the work, but everyone wants an A+. Want to know what really happens when a manager doesn't hold their team accountable? Spoiler alert, chaos, drama, coffee shortages. Well, if you want to know the dangers of a manager not holding their team accountable, stick around, because today we're deep diving into the chaos that happens when managers go from leader to professional enabler. Hello everyone, and welcome to the best place for entrepreneurs and corporate professionals who want management tips to lead your team towards business success. I'm Jaboria Scott, a leadership coach and management consultant. Now, when it comes to the dangers of a manager not holding their team accountable, things can get out of hand really quickly. Deadlines vanish into thin air and productivity takes a vacation, and Susan has been working on that report since last year. So that this doesn't happen to you, let's take a cheeky look at what happens when the boss forgets that they're the boss, with 4 reasons why being the cool manager might actually make you the villain. The first danger of managers not holding their teams accountable: deadlines become suggestions. If nobody's getting called out for missing deadlines, guess what? No one meets deadlines. This means that your team turns into a group project where everyone's the kid who forgot to do their part. And if you've ever been in a group project where no one does anything until the last minute or the night before, you know what a disaster that is when panic sets in. Yeah, that's your whole team now. Except it happens every week and the project actually matters this time. The thing is that in the traditional workplace, people like structure. And when you fail to establish parameters and timelines and dates for getting things done, deadlines stop being deadlines and they become vague hopes, wishes, or dreams. Because when a manager doesn't hold anyone accountable, and if there's no follow-up, no consequences, people start thinking, hey, no big deal if I'm late. Then what happens is that Becky turns her part in 3 days late and Trevor doesn't turn his in at all. And you are left trying to explain to upper management why Q2 reports still aren't done. You don't want those kinds of problems. When you let one person get away with it, it spreads faster than a TikTok dance challenge. Here's what you can do instead to partner with your team. Be sure to build in flexibility just in case you need to pivot, and consider any competing priorities that may conflict with your deadlines. So let's be sure that you don't run the risk of this first danger of manager not holding their team accountable, because you don't want to run into a situation where you're not managing a project anymore. You're actually really hosting a procrastination party. Deadlines, they're not optional. If they're optional, then they're fictional. The second danger of managers not holding their team accountable: your high performers will rage quit. Now, I've been known to rage quit a television show or two, like The Walking Dead when Negan deleted Glenn and Abraham. Yep, that was it for me. But that doesn't work in the corporate world. And you know those people who actually do their work on your team, aka your top performers? Yeah, them. They start feeling like the only ones carrying the group when you don't hold your team accountable. Your top performers, they burn out. They resent you and eventually they quit. Or even worse, they could quietly quit, meaning they stay on your job, but they stop going above and beyond like they used to. Let me paint the picture to drive my point home. You have an MVP named Dana, and your team, actually, she's doing the work. Dana shows up. Dana hits deadlines. Dana fixes everyone else's mess. But Dana notices that everyone else is slacking and there are 0 consequences. Guess who's going to burn out first? Your MVP, Dana. Here's how it happened. At first, Dana will just be annoyed. Then they'll start working quietly and resentfully. Then Dana will be out of there faster than you can say LinkedIn open to work. Congrats. You just lost your MVP. And the sad part is you could have kept her. But instead, you let Brad miss 4 deadlines in a row with 0 consequences because he's going through something. We're all going through something, Brad. Here's what you can do as the manager to hold your team accountable so that you don't become a cautionary tale. Address underperforming team members immediately when it happens. Refer to the goals of each employee's job role and measure their performance using those metrics. Check in with team members frequently to monitor performance and discuss anything that doesn't meet the company's standards. And lastly, ensure that the workload is equally distributed among team members so that each person isn't doing more than the others that they're responsible for. The takeaway here is that if you don't protect your high performers from burnout, don't be shocked when they protect their peace and leave your job. The third danger of managers not holding their team accountable, an accountability vacuum equals drama central. When nobody knows what the rules are, people start making it up on their own. And suddenly you're on the Survivor show, but it's the office edition. Managers who don't hold their teams accountable end up managing a team with people blaming each other, with lots of petty arguments, and they end up leaving each other sticky notes with passive aggressive vibes. I'm talking chaos with a capital HR. If no one's being held accountable, guess what happens? People get creative. And suddenly the office turns into the Real Housewives or Love Island corporate edition. There are alliances, backstabbing, and you end up with Angie from marketing crying in the bathroom for the third week in a row. And everyone is blaming each other for the screwed up Q2 rollout. The real danger of managers not holding their team accountable is that if you don't step in as the manager, people start doing your job for you, and they usually do it badly. Accountability doesn't just disappear because the manager fails to do it. It mutates into gossip, finger pointing, and energy wasted on Slack messages that are 90% passive aggressive. There you have a workplace where no one knows who's responsible for anything, but everyone knows who's mad at who. And all because you didn't want to be the bad guy and hold people accountable. If you don't want your department to devolve into a place that lacks structure in a toxic work environment, here's what you can do about it. Be reliable and dependable. Lead by example. Focus on establishing trust and demonstrate your knowledge and expertise to instill confidence. Doing some of these things will help to establish you as the manager in charge instead of a drama facilitator. The fourth danger of managers not holding their team accountable is simple. Nothing gets done. If you're not holding people accountable, you're just hosting a very sad co-working space instead of managing a team in a professional environment that achieves goals. People will chill, they'll vibe, they'll slack all day. And the actual work, it's somewhere in your New Year's resolutions, missing and probably not coming back. So yeah, be cool, but also be a manager. Hold your team accountable or prepare to vibe alone in a very chaotic and unproductive workspace. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and send it to that one manager who needs to see it. And if you want to know how to figure out what your personal leadership style is, click the link and take our free What's Your Leadership Style quiz and discover how you can leverage your talent to lead people toward achieving business success. When you take our free quiz based on your results, we'll send you a unique action plan with tips from top leaders so that you can show up as a leading authority in business. As always, have a great week, be kind to yourself, and thanks again for watching.